All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the Playbook. I'm here with Andrew Jackson, volunteer head coach Jeremy Smith. Coach, thanks for being here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And it looks like you guys were in a kind of a barn burner there for a while at Andrews. I know it was a long drive to get you guys there. What was your message to the team after the game?
Yeah, we did some things, good, and we were happy about some things that occurred during the game. But really the message was, that one kind of it probably hurt a little bit more than the previous two, and the message was we felt like we had better practices than what we actually did in the game, and so the message was, hey, let's carry over. Let's have carryover. We had a good week of practice. I thought defensively we had a great week of practice, and their quarterback and they had some good explosive players, and we just didn't do a good job of tackling. And when it came down to it, and we got penalized, and so we know that we've got to eliminate some mistakes, penalties, and things like that. We got to block a little bit better. We gave up a couple sacks, and just some things happened during the game that kind of put us behind. So, message was we just got to carry over from practice to the game and understand that whether it be a 2 hour ride or whatever whatever bus ride it is, we just got to do a good job of coming off the bus and not letting it affect us and be able to play how we want to play, and no matter the circumstance. So we had some mistakes that we made, and we've been overemphasizing that this week of let's get those things fixed. And like I said, we just got to carry over from practice.
And offensively, it looked like you were able to move the ball around and kind of spread it around, both running and passing. What did you like about your offense?
Yeah, I mean, we were able to almost get everybody involved, and that's kind of been our goal this season, of getting to the point where some of our biggest playmakers are receivers, and just figuring out different ways to get them the ball. And so Friday night we did a good job of that. Like at times we blocked well, other times we didn't, and we let their D line and some cause some issues here and there, and like I said, we had a score, come back. We had a couple big plays. We had one play get down to the goal line and got called back. So just some holding penalties in there that we've got to clean up and we've got to fix. But we've got to do a better job of like I said, just blocking, giving our quarterback time, and making sure that we continue to improve daily. And like I said, I'm happy with the fact that we got a lot of people the ball, and that's been our goal. Like I said, and just continue to come along in the passing game. And each week we've gotten better running the ball. So just continue to do that.
And as the season went, you realized, you had a lot of turnover on both sides of the ball, but the defense had a lot of turnover, or not turnovers, but a lot of
Yeah.
turnover in players.
Yeah.
How do you feel like they played, and what do they need to do to continue to get better?
Yeah, we've been playing like in our opinion as coaches, we've been playing very well defensively. We felt like the previous two games that we had played well, and we were doing some good things. And we just didn't tackle. We were in the right spots. Their quarterback was really elusive. They had some backs that could really go, and they run a little bit different style offense, essentially like a triple option gun offense, and they were a little bit different, and you don't see that a lot. But like I said, I thought we had a good week of practice, and so leading up to it, and everybody kind of at times during the week we did a good job of responsibilities and assignments, and then we kind of lost our way a little bit here and there, and we just didn't tackle very well. Like I said, we were in the right spots. We just got to tackle a little bit better, and make sure that we were able to get them off the field at times, and played a great second half. I mean, defensively, except for one drive, we played an awesome second half, and we kind of got used to the speed of it and all that. But just that first half, we kind of bit ourselves in the and just wasn't able to come back from it.
And talk about your special teams, what you saw from them and what you liked about them.
Yeah, it's always a good night when you never have to punt. You usually that means you got to score more points. You score more points, but yeah, that was a good thing. Like I said, we didn't have to punt, but kickoff we're doing better. We kind of struggled the game before, gave up a return, and We fixed some things. We did better there, and we feel like we're very close on return or our return game. We've had Javon Kelly is a great returner. He's only a sophomore. He's got some speed, and he's getting more used to it and seeing lanes, and so we're doing a better job there. And I got a feeling we keep telling we're going to break one of these one day. But we did good. We did what we were supposed to. There was no big plays or no turnovers or anything like that. So, and we did a pretty good job of, keeping the field position where we needed to.
And as you've gone so far, you've played 3 really tough games, your first 3 games, and you got another one coming up. But talk about how, we kind of harp on it, but it's true how these games prepare you for a tough region schedule, because you got a tough region schedule too.
Yeah. And our kids, our players, they know it. I mean, they know, we got this tough schedule, and, I've seen some other, really good 2A teams have been struggling a little bit too, just because of their schedule and very similar. And so, it is what it is. We feel like we can go out there and compete with, everybody on our schedule. And, like you said, this week's not going to be any different. It's going to be another tough game. But, we hope, and I think our players are buying into the fact that if we can go out there and compete and do good things and continue, we just got to continue to get better. And I told them this week, we got 2 more games and it's on, right? And all our goals are ahead of us. So we got to make sure we're getting better each week, which really through these past 3 weeks, we've seen some growth. And so we just got to continue to get, like I said, keep getting better.
And talk about your game this week. You got Louisville. You're heading there on the road. Talk about their team and what you're expecting from them.
Yeah, again, they're going to be a good team. They're very good last year. They've returned a good amount of people, it seems like, and they have a very good quarterback. Very rare to see these days. Their quarterback turns around, he plays strong safety, and he'll light you up. So he's an athlete, he's a very good athlete. They've got some playmakers at receiver. They've got some, pretty, in my opinion, very good linemen. Some linemen that play both ways, and then they've got, just a core group of guys that are used to winning there. They've had some success the past 2 years, and you can see they're kind of continuing that. It just looked like, their last game they played Fairfield Central and had some turnovers, and they're probably right in that game. So that we know they're tough, and again, just another game of, we got to play mistake free. We got to limit our mistakes. That's kind of where we're at as a football team. And if we can limit those mistakes and play with, some physicality, we can, I tell them all the time, it's very easy, right? We're going to get better as long as we keep blocking and tackling better, and so the game sometimes is just that simple. So if we can continue to do that better, we're looking forward to it. I think our players are looking forward to it. And so I'm excited about it. Not a long drive, and so we can't. Hopefully our kids will be, will show up with a lot of intensity and a lot of urgency to play the game.
And as Coach said there, Volunteer fans, it's not a long drive, so make sure on Friday night that you get out to Louisville High School. Andrew Jackson Volunteers are heading up there. Game starts at 7:30. Should be a good one. Coach, good luck, and we'll talk to you next week.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Well, thanks for sticking with us. I'm here with Joe Watson, head coach of the Buford Yellow Jacket football team. Coach, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Coach, I know it wasn't the outcome you were looking for, but talk about your message to the guys after the game and what you guys can take positively out of that.
First message after the game was we couldn't spot them 43 in the first half and expect to dig out of a hole. Second message came, we played a lot better in the second half. So there was building points in the second half. So yeah, that's kind of where we are. We had to play Thursday night, so when we got back to school Friday, we watched film, and then I told them we flushed it and we were done with it.
And sometimes, I mean, obviously you want to win every game, but that's not really realistic. It doesn't really happen very often. But you want to take positives out of the games and take good things. How do you focus on that, and how do you make the kids who I know want to win look at the positives?
Well, one of the things, we were starting a different quarterback, and so Hunter Mills stepped in and played and took snaps at quarterback. And for the most part, I told Hunter, I said, "Look, man, just manage the football game. Don't do anything dumb. Realistically, right? Don't try to win it yourself." And he did a good job for us. He managed the game. He got us out of some situations that we were in. I thought he got rid of the football when he needed to for the most part. He took a couple of sacks here and there, but he stood in there and delivered the ball, and I thought he ran the ball hard. So,
and as you start, these games are really preparation to get ready for region play. What are some things that you're looking for from your offense as you continue moving forward?
Just consistency of moving the football. We got to stay ahead of the sticks. We're not the team that can play from 2nd and 15, 3rd and 12. We don't operate like that. I mean, we do, but you don't have many plays in the playbook for 2 and 15, so, or 3rd and 15. So as long as we stay ahead of the sticks, I think we got a good chance. And so that's just kind of what we did yesterday as far as practice wise, is making sure that we're cleaning up us.
And talk about your defense, what you saw that you liked from them and what they need to continue to work on.
Well, we're going to have to tackle better. That's the biggest thing. Making sure we're not running upfield, getting our reads at linebacker, and then staying in coverage and not jogging in the secondary.
And I know people love offense and defense, but special teams always comes up big at some point or another. What does your special teams need to continue to get better at and work on?
As far as special teams, I thought Christian kicked the ball really well for us. I mean, we punted 4 times. He had 161 yards on punts. So, that's a plus for us anytime we can flip field position.
And talk about you talked about Hunter. Was there anybody else that, you thought they played better or as good as I thought they should, or they stepped up in a tough situation?
Not really in a tough situation, because we had everybody playing that should have played. We misread some stuff defensively that cost us some long runs. I thought throughout the course of the game on 1st and 2nd down, we were great defensively. 3rd down is what hit us, and we would misread here and there, and it would break for a 1st down or a long plus yardage run or touchdown, but I just go back to the first 3rd down of the ball game, and it's 3rd and 10, because we've made 2 good stops 1st, 2nd down, and he busts off a long touchdown run, and we're there telling them that it's coming. We just don't make the right read and get to where we need to be. So I think everybody was about on the same keel. Like I said, when I talked about Hunter, I thought he did a really good job stepping in.
And up next, you got Great Falls. I believe, last non-region game, right?
Yes,
Before
sir.
we get started. Talk about Great Falls and what you're expecting from them.
Well, they're going to be athletic. Quarterback's a really good player. Number 1's a good football player, and 7. So those guys are the ones that stick out. And then number 56 on the offensive defensive line will get after it as well. Those are the ones that stick out in off of film. They'll go as far as the quarterback takes them. Like I said, he's really athletic. He's the same starter they had last year. So, I expect us, if we go down there and do what we're supposed to do, I think we can take care of business. But football's crazy, man. It just takes one time to keep people in games, and you let people stick around, and crazy things happen.
And I mentioned that region coming up after the next week. Just talk about, the importance. of the non-region schedule and trying to get the guys ready for ultimately 2 weeks from now, but still trying to win week to week?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna prepare for who we play. We're never gonna be the team that looks ahead. We are excited that we get to start the region next week, and it'll be a tough game because every coach is looking down the schedule to see who you got and when you got them. But we'll have North Central roll in here next week and start the region, and they're a good football team. Coach Sis does a really good job. But Coach Newton at Great Falls, he's trying to turn the corner with them and get them to where they're thinking like him, and so we just got to play better.
All right, well, Joe's Jacket fans out there, I know you guys like to follow your football team around. They are heading to Great Falls this week. Game starts at 7:30. Make sure it's not that far of a ride up the road to get out to Great Falls. So y'all get out there and support those Yellow Jackets. And Coach, thanks for being on, and we'll talk to you next week.
Hey, thanks for having me. Go Jackets.
Again, thanks for staying with us. I'm here with Adam Hastings, head coach of Indian Land Warrior football. Coach, thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Now, you guys had a bye week this week. How did you feel that your practice went?
It's always difficult. A lot of coaches will tell you that bye weeks can be, make it or break it for you. I don't know if I buy into all of that. For us, a bye week, it really kind of is dictated by where your team is at. And I think every year you have to kind of take on a bye week a little bit differently based upon the needs of a program. And for us, we had a bug going around last week that knocked out. I think we had like 18, 19 guys out. So, we usually we'd practice 3 days and meet one and give them off one. We end up give off 3 days, just for precautionary reasons, because I think the one thing that's really important during a bye week is rest. I really think that for, these kids, being who they are, being at the age they are, they start school, they're here at school, with our schedule, they're here at school 8:15, 8:30. And some of them aren't leaving until 8 o'clock, and, the food part of that, the sleep part of that, just the activity part of that for them, I think it's really important to be able to pull back for a week and allow their bodies to kind of get caught up to where they're at, especially since they've gone from the summer when we do everything in the mornings to now they're at school for 12 hours a day, if not more, on Thursday and Friday. So I think for us, it's good to kind of pull back a little bit. Get some guys kind of banged up that it's always good to kind of bring back. But, we also had some things that we really wanted to clean up and focus on and get better at. Some things I think that had been an issue with us throughout the season, and then all of a sudden in our last game were. So it gave us the opportunity to put some focus on that, to kind of retool a little bit, some things that we got to get better at, and some things that we're actually, we're doing really well. And how do we build off of that and, and expand off of that, and then give us an extra, a couple of days to get ready for a really good Marvin Ridge team.
And does that, that week, especially now with giving the guys extra time off as coaches, does that give you more time to think about and review? All right, here's some things that we can really, really improve on, because you're not with the kids all the time.
Yeah, for us as a staff, sometimes it's good for us to have a day, to kind of pull back. We're here, 6-7 days a week. So I think for us it was good because it gave us a chance to kind of take a deep breath and do some analytics of self-scout to see, hey, what are we doing? What do we think is working, but compared to what is actually working, and kind of build in some things to kind of, at the beginning of the year, you're thinking, all right, we're going to be this. And then as games happen, players develop, schemes develop, your program develops, your teams develop, you start to see what you're really going to be like, and what sometimes the things you thought, preseason going into the season, a couple games in, you realize that's not who we are, or that's not something we do really well at. So for us, it's kind of retooling that stuff and leaning heavy into the things that we do well. I've always thought tendencies are good. It means you're doing something well. But how do you build off those tendencies, the things you do really well, so that you can continue to do it well once people know what you're doing?
Well, we're excited for this coming week. You are our game of the week this week. You're taking on Marvin Ridge. Tell us about them and what you see in their team.
Well, I mean, look at Marvin Ridge and understand one is an interesting opponent for us, cross-state opponent, but it's actually the nearest school to us. I mean, it's less than 10 miles from our school. It's a school that when you look at the makeup of it, it's an offshoot, about 15, 20 years ago from Weddington High School and really from Ardrey Kell right there in Union County. They've been extremely successful. I mean, they beat Weddington last year. They've had Shrine Bowl players, NFL players come from those teams. When you look at their team this year, they beat a really good Ardrey Kell team by 3 touchdowns. They're explosive. They have the touchdown reception leader of Union County right now. They got a defensive end who's a big 22 player with a ton of offers, he's a high motor kid. They're going to play really hard. They're going to be in the right spot. When the scheme fits who they are because they are long, they're big, they're really talented.
Because of all of that stuff, Coach, what do you have to do as a program as a team to beat them?
Yeah, I think the number one thing about them, when you look at the games they've won, the games they lost, the games they've won, they've taken advantage of other teams' mistakes. In the games they've lost, the other teams have played really clean. So for us, it's just playing clean. It's playing smart. It's leaning to the things that we do well. I think that we do have a little bit of a chip on our shoulder. And I think, lean into that chip and understand that if we clean up the things that we're doing that are self-inflicted, I think we got a chance to kind of see how good of a team we can be. And it's really important to have some of that confidence going into a really tough region.
And I encourage all you guys to get out to the reservation on this Friday at 7:30. Marvin Ridge is traveling to Indian Land to take on the Warriors. Learn TV is going to be covered in our YouTube and Facebook pages, but I encourage you, if you're in the area, get out there and watch them in person. There's nothing like in-person football on a Friday night. Under the lights. It's a great place to be. It's a good place to watch a football game. So get out there. And if you want your family to watch from afar, they can turn into Learn TV, or if you can't make it, you can turn into Learn TV. So thanks, Coach. And we're excited to be there on Friday.
Absolutely. And Troy, you really touched on the one aspect, I think, of football that makes it special is a home football game on a Friday night, the sense of community, the sense of just pride and excitement, seeing kids running around, wanting to be on the field one day as a player, and seeing the excitement of the fans and the players and the students when success happens, and just the atmosphere itself, I think is what makes that, places like Indian Land so special. It's a great opportunity for people to come out. Marvin Ridge travels well, so I'd encourage all of our fans and supporters to get there early, and it's going to be a really fun night.
Well, we're looking forward to it, Coach. Thanks. We'll talk to you next week.
Absolutely. Thanks.